having no slope. So just something a little about slope. All righty, so let's go back to lesson. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at lesson 33. We've talked about slope-intercept form, where I have an equation where y equals mx plus b. I use that equation to determine my y-intercept and to determine my slope, and I can graph. Now we're looking at, if you notice at the top of our heading, it says we are dealing with point-slope form. I will tell you that through the graphing section, we're going to have several equations that you need to memorize. This is one of them. Y equals mx plus b is slope form, is the first one. The second one is point-slope form. So it says, so far you have learned to write the equation of a line when you know its slope and its y-intercept. However, there will be times when you know the slope and one or more points on the graph, but not the y-intercept. And this is where this is where the point-slope form comes in. So times when you, let me get my highlighter. Times when you know the slope and one or more points, but not the y-intercept. So remember, to graph a moment ago, we had to have the y-intercept first. Then we used the slope to graph it. If I only have a point on the line and I don't know the slope, I've got a different formula that I can use, okay? So the point-slope form of a line, of a linear equation, is used when at least one point and the slope of the line are known. The formula is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now you may notice a minute ago, or a lot of times we're using y1, x1, y1, x2, y2. Notice in this one, they didn't make these y1 and y2. The reason is because this first y and this first x are standard parts of my equation. They will not change. Y1 and x1 are going to be determined by a point, whatever that point is. Okay. So it says that x1, y1 is a point on the line. Any equation in point-slope form can be written in slope-intercept form using the properties of equality. So basically, I can change y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I can convert it to y equals mx plus b. So I start with this form, and then I solve for slope-intercept. So let's look at an example of that. It says find an equation of a line with the slope 2 that passes through the point 1, 5. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to use the equation of y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, as y'all know, I would much rather, to me, seeing this right here, immediately I can look at this and see. But if I was just looking at this and I didn't look at my beginning equation, I would be super confused when I looked at my homework and this was all they told me. That's why I like to go ahead and write my equation so I can look and see, oh, well, wait a minute, here I have y, but here I have minus 5. Where did that come from? It's going to be up there. So they've given me that my point is 1, 5. They've told me my slope is 2. So that means this is x1, y1, and this is m. So when I do y minus, y1 is 5, m is 2 times x minus, and x1 is right there. So everything I've needed to plug into this equation is off of this given point and off of my slope. I'm plugging in 5 for y1. Now, this minus sign here is part of the original equation. What would happen if this number was negative 5? What would this change to? Positive because if I had minus a -5, then it would change to a positive. So I've got to be careful with my signs. Okay? If either of these are ever negative, they will change to positive in my equation. All right. So now, look at this, what we have right here, and what looks like something that we have dealt with quite a bit. Forgetting the x and y's.
Y equals mx plus b.
Well, we're going to get there.
Distribute.
The distributive property, okay? I've got a number outside of parentheses, okay? So I know that means I'm going to have to distribute that 2 to each term inside parentheses. So that means my 2 will need to be multiplied by x, and 2 will need to be multiplied by -1. Okay, so I'm going to start there, and I have y minus 5 equals 2x minus 2. Does everybody plug in the values that I knew? Number 2, I've used the distributive property. So now what do you think I'm going to need to do? If I'm trying to go to y equals mx plus b form, what do I need to solve for?
Y.
Y.
So
I need to solve for this guy right here. What is with him that needs to move?
5.
5. How do I move him?
Addition.
I'm going to add it because it is negative. I add 5 to each side. Now notice when I added 5, I went ahead and put it underneath the number it will need to be added to. I don't want to put it under here and get confused with my x because those are not like terms. I want to line them up so I can make sure that those are going to be added together. So y minus 5 plus 5 just leaves me with y equals 2x negative 2 plus 5. What is negative 2 plus positive 3? So now I have it in y equals mx plus b form. So what is my slope?
2.
What is my y-intercept?
0,
3. Okay, so we used the slope that we knew in a given point to plug it in to point slope form. Then I was able to convert from point slope to slope. So let's go ahead and practice with this one. The first thing I want you to do is go ahead and write y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Go ahead and write your equation at the top. And if it helps you, you can underline point slope and draw an arrow to that so you know that's point slope form. Now it says rewrite each equation in slope intercept form. So underneath that, you can write y equals mx plus b. So now you know I'm going to start here and I want to end here. All righty. So if I'm starting with my original equation, I have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So now I can plug in values. Y minus what?
1.
1 equals
3.
3 times x minus
2.
2. Is everybody comfortable with how to plug in the values? How to figure out what of this gets plugged in over here? Everybody good with that? What's the next step?
Distribute.
Distributive property. I see that number outside parentheses, and that's a visual indicator to you that you're going to have to distribute. So 3 times x and 3 times negative 2. So I have y minus 1 equals, what's 3 times x? 3x. What's 3 times negative 2? Negative 6. Now, after I've distributed, what's my next step? What am I solving for?
Y.
Solve for y. Add 1, add 1. So y equals?
Y equals 3x minus 5.
Good. All right. So out to the side, I'm going to write 1, plug values in to y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. That's my first step. Step 2, distribute value of m. Step 3, solve for y. So the first thing I did is I plugged in my values, then I distributed, and I solved for y. All right, let's do the next one. M equals -2. My order here is 3, 4. Y equals, I'm sorry, not y equals, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus, not 3, 4 equals -2 times x minus 3. Good. Next step, distribute. -2 has to distribute to x and -3. So y minus 4 equals, what is -2 times x? -2x. What is -2 times -3? What kind of 6? +6, so it's going to be +6. Now what? Solve for y by moving the 4. It is negative, so I'm going to add it to each side. So y equals -2x plus 10. Let's do the last one. Y equals y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus.
Y plus 2.
Okay, so it's y minus a -2. I'll leave it like that for just a minute and then we'll change it. I just want y'all to be able to see it. What's next? 4 times x minus
-1.
-1. Okay, so I would change that to y plus 2 equals 4 times x plus 1. You can either write it as minus a negative, or if you're good, just go on with this step here. You can eliminate this step if you want to, okay? But I wanted you to be able to see it. Minus a negative becomes positive, minus a negative becomes positive. Next step.
Separate y.
Or separate y.
Like
Get it by itself. So
Yeah. I heard it. Distribute. I'm gonna distribute that 4.
I was ready.
I was gonna say. Okay. Y plus 2 equals 4 times x. Or x, 4 times a +1.
+2.
+4. Okay, 4 times 1 is 4.
Ahead, like a step. I'm sorry.
All right. Now what am I solving for?
2.
Solving for y, so that means I've got to move 2 by subtracting, -2 minus 2, so y equals 4x plus 2.
Good job,
That's what it
Evelyn.
is.
All righty. So I want you guys working on activities 2, page 73.
For homework.
No, right now. It is only 11:50. We've got about 15 more minutes. Chad, can I see you in the hall?
Once you get it, just get it. Yeah, I've always struggled with this. Yeah. I enjoy it once I get it.
I can do it. I'll do it because I know I can do it. That's why I like it.
But I don't want to do this.
It works. I don't like it.
Your comfort zone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My heart is. I was you like why because it's known as X stuff. Minus 1 and then that's 1.
Every time that lady always messed with it.
I don't know. You make it up to but a lot. Especially in something big.
Oh, maybe that's what's taking a while. I have the second one.
Clear. Good. Good job.
Shake the other.
It's been better than me.
True, I'm still the same. Huh?
I actually enjoy this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy once you get it.
Yeah. It takes a while to plug it in though, because it's like you have to make sure you get it in the right. Yeah, I wrote it down. I was like, okay. Yeah. Where you put it.
Like once I see it and I understand it, I can get it that quick.
Yeah.
I'm scared for myself. I'm shaking. Anything to do.
It scared me when everybody
Yeah,
I was like,
when that
oh,
happened, I
shoot.
had to cry. I was
So
like,
we look in the chat. I see that stuff all the time. Mischief or okay.
I'm gonna look like this. I was like,
I don't want to know.
I've never done it in this moment.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not ready for this.
I have kids, so yeah. I used to like do that. So.
I only have an older sister. She plays there, like in arguments, so.
I mean,
What's going on with the clock? Why is it glitched?
it's constant. It's a little over Halloween, so it's a little too late.
Yeah, that clock has never moved. I know, but it was just like swinging and stuff like that. I'm not kidding. It's not now, but it was. I mean, I believe you. I'm just. Maybe. It's a spooky clock, I guess. Yeah. What you
Actually, positive 4.
It's
Negative 4 because it's
negative.
It's not multiplication.
Yeah.
I get this one.
I like big Those are cool. Yeah, 9-12. Mark squished by a clock. No, the clock wasn't fighting honorably. He jumped on you. Five minutes till knitting class. We have a knitting class after this. I bet it looks beautiful.
It's lovely. I haven't worked on it in like 2 weeks.
I know, right?
I have so much trouble.
I know, you just gotta find time. It's hard. So,
my grandma was on the roller steps with them for like a few weeks.
yeah.
And so I was with them for a few weeks. And she didn't do it for me. She was with me in that.
Oh. She back to the wrong one.
I cry when other people cry. Me too. I cry when I'm mad. I cry when other people cry. Yeah.
I'm crying and hugging somebody.
Because I looked over and you had like one time there's like blood. Like a line.
Wait, did anybody hit?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know. I'm just doing my best.
Yeah.
Oh, the first one.
What did you get on the?
I got your other one.
I got y equals -2 + 5. Sorry,
That's probably my
Oh, you didn't treat for like a negative number.
yeah. Okay, I was just making sure because I
But other than
mixed up.
I was like,
I said
who's-
that was y and that was x. And that was
yeah, I didn't see any of that. It's not 8 o'clock.
No, I think. Why? As long as anybody knows I'm a PlayStation talking. Part of any conversation.
Oh, okay.
I wonder when you fold your jacket
Like
out,
pearl?
and sign my really good.
Alright.
Like, friends, family,
Okay, so Hopefully, if you have not finished 73, that will be the first thing to do, is to finish 73. You can write this in your book, and you do not have to write 73 on paper. What I do want you to do, though, is activities 3 on page 74. You're going to be graphing the activities from 2. Okay, so that will need to be on separate graph paper, not in your book.
So what?
So if you look at page 74, it says to graph each equation from activity 2. Activity 2, notice I've got these numbered across 1, 2, 3 across the top, 4, 5, 6 across the bottom. So then you'll need to graph those 6 equations, okay, on another piece of graph paper or on graph grids, whatever you want to use. Okay, so that will be part of your homework, is activities 3 on page 74. 73 is in your textbook. That's okay. You do not have to write it on paper, and you do not have to turn it in. What will need to be turned in is the graphs for those equations on 73. Okay. Real quick, to address kind of the situation that happened. I've talked with both guys. I think we're good with everything. One of the things that I have noticed, and I've kind of ignored and tolerated, is sometimes I'll notice some picking back and forth and some comments and things like that, and everybody messing with each other and stuff like that. But this is going to be a no tolerance zone. Okay. We are not going to do anything to say or make anybody feel poorly in any way, shape, or form. Okay. Even if you're kidding and being silly and you're stupid. No, it's not fun. Okay. Nothing. I do not want to hear one ugly thing come out of your mouth said to another person. All right. Because it can end up leading to bigger issues. Small issues, or actually big issues, big explosions, don't just happen like that. It's a building. Okay. So the other thing that I'm going to go ahead and separate. So when we come back from next week off, a seating arrangement, and we're gonna move things around. Okay. So I'm sorry for those of you that I will say that realistically, we have a lot of chit chatting no matter what. So even if it's here, there's some chit chatting sometimes. But anyway, so we're just going to go ahead and move things around, and then that way, hopefully, it'll help everybody. I have had some questions about kind of noise sometimes, distracting for other people and stuff like that. So, okay, do you want this? You need to hold on to your lesson 31. That will be your first part of homework that you turn in when we return week after next. Okay, so you will have 31. I think today we had, let's see, this was 32, right?
32, page 71.
32, page 71.
Activities 2.
So our first part of homework will be 31. We've got 31 activities 2, and then we've got our activities 4 on lesson 33. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I will see you next week.
Activities 3.
Good.
This one
Very good.
and 70.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Continuing to work. All right. I will see you at 2:30. I will send you a link.
Tell her.